Alright, hey, what's going on? It's Ben here bringing to you a mid-range Abyssian, and this deck is a little bit strange right now in the meta right now. Yeah, definitely Lilith, definitely a little bit of an unusual inclusion in any game actually because of Blistering Scorn. So instead of running Wrathlings at all, you just don't include them, and it turns out to be just okay because really having your Bloodborne spell alone is good enough. You don't really need to run any more Swarm cards to allow yourself to get wrecked by Blistering Scorn at all. So, you know, just to put in strong mid-range cards, because Abyssian does have the strongest late game in the 5, 6, and 7 mana drop categories. But otherwise, instead of Blistering Scorn, yeah, this is perfectly fine. Oh, Natural Selection. That's a little bit of unusual card choice by Magmar, but it looks like he's going to grab the superior board position. Next turn, a Darkfire Sacrifice could be useful. I could use my Bloodborne spell and put out Reaper of the Nine Moons. It doesn't fit that well together though. Usually I want to use a Bloodborne, well, I usually want to attack with a Healing Mystic, then use this to bring out a Vorpal Reaper or something like that. Let's get rid of a Shadow Reflection and see what's going down. Vorpal Reaper. Unfortunately, the Vorpal Reaper is not really working out for me right now, so I'm going to have to grab this Mana Spring even though I don't particularly want to. I'm not going to be able to use the Mana Spring anyway, so I may as well not let him use it anyway either. So let's just grab the Mana Spring and take out this Young Slither. Next turn I do have an upcoming turn with the Bloodborne spell and the Darkfire Sacrifice into the Vorpal Reaper, so I do have a good turn up and coming. Or I can even drop the Reaper of Nine Moons next turn, which is pretty fine. Alright, I'm totally fine with the Seeking Eye because I do have my Darkfire Sacrifices to go with the Vorpal Reapers. Okay, looks like he's putting on some pressure. Is it an Amplification turn? Maybe. He had nothing to play. This does just make me want to put down the Duelyst and the Bloodborne spell. Then I can use the Darkfire Sacrifice just to set up for next turn. Unfortunately, I don't really have a way to get rid of this Young Flizza. But Amplification might be a pretty big deal, although I can get rid of it with Imperial Shroud next turn, so it's not really that big of a deal. So I might just go with the big proactive play with the Duelyst and the Darkfire Sacrifice into the Vorpal Reaper on the following turn. Well, that's a hope at least. It's really fantastic that you can use Darkfire Sacrifice preemptively, so you can sacrifice a minion right off the get-go, and then you can set up for a 2-mana tempo swing next turn. I'm going to keep all these cards because they seem pretty good. I just want my late-game cards at this point, and I do have a fine selection of late-game cards. I might get rid of Saberspine Tiger next turn if I find that I don't need any more rush minions. It would be quite sad if he has a Dancing Blades, but it's not really that big of a deal. Alright, Flash. What could it be? Elder? Slither Elder, that's a big surprise. Well, I can kind of deal with it with what I have right now. It's just a matter of whether I want to do it that way. Because if I deal with a Slither Elder, I actually have no way to move forward in this position. I'd rather drop a Spectral Revenant, to be honest. Just for the immediate effect, it seems pretty good, I'd say. And this dude's going to get rid of eggs, so I have no problem with that. He's probably going to have to attack into the Spectral Revenant himself, and I can get rid of that egg as well. But I'm feeling pretty good about this situation. I don't need to deal with the Slither Elder immediately. I just want to keep on the proactive plays that I can. Egg Morph would be pretty intense. Ugh, Egg Morph. That was pretty intense. Oh, but he conceded. Why'd he do that? Did he miss? This is a pretty fine hand. I might just keep a Ritual Banishing so I have a way to deal with a potential Earth Sister Tegedi. Can't let that thing hang around for too long. Actually, interestingly enough, nah, this doesn't deal 8 damage from taking out Tegedi. It only deals 4, but the Tegedi does get rid of a Spectral Revenant if you hit the Spectral Revenant into a Tegedi. I do have a potential for a 4-mana 3-card play where I can put down the Duelyst, Darkfire Sacrifice, the Healing Mystic, and put out a Shield Puppet Dragon with these guys. So it's 4 mana, Darkfire Sacrifice that up. But I probably want to save the Darkfire Sacrifice for the Spectral Revenant on the upcoming turn. I might just drop the Duelyst by itself. Oh, interesting. I guess he has a Tegedi already, which is not sweet. So I guess I'm going to just go for a removal of a Tegedi. That means I do want to get rid of the Puppy Dragon, because next turn I'm going to drop a Duelyst. Not really much of change in play here. But But fortunately, I do have a way to get rid of a Tegedi, because that could be a big deal if I don't have a way to get rid of a Tegedi. In fact, if he has a Tegedi to follow up, I'm also already in big trouble. Although, the Duelyst is an excellent answer to a Tegedi, because the Duelyst is one of the only... It's pretty much the only minion that can deal with a Tegedi. Although he does have his Bloodborne spells, so he might just get rid of a Duelyst alone. Okay, yeah. That's not good. That's not good. That's really not good, because the general can get rid of the Duelyst just by hitting into him. Get rid of the Jaxi here. Maybe if I get... I don't have Primus Fist though, so I can't use a Saber-Spine Tiger to get rid of that. Guess I'll just drop a Duelyst and spawn in some dudes, and if I need to, I'll just use a Darkfire Sacrifice on one of the Wrathlings. Hopefully it doesn't land on like these three spots. Oh, that's good positioning. So far, I'm going to sacrifice this one so this spot gets congested, so if they want to get rid of a Wrathling. Well, I guess it's not a big deal because a Tegedi can just attack into me and get rid of a Wrathling. But I guess it's not bad, you know, not bad. It's so unfortunate that this happens, that he can just attack into a Duelyst. Blistering Scorn, that's kind of weird. Unless he has like a way to get rid of a Duelyst. Yeah, I don't know why he used the Blistering Scorn there. That didn't make any sense, really. And if he's going to attack into a Duelyst anyway, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, right? And now he has to attack into a Duelyst. For a couple of turns, at least. Okay, well, this Tegedi is a pretty big problem. But Tombstone is doing some good work. So hopefully I can get a Dispel on this guy soon. I might be able to close out the game in a couple of turns, really. Yeah, I don't really see why he used the Blistering Scorn. I guess he didn't really have anything else to play. Doesn't really make much sense otherwise. Maybe he has a way to get rid of the Tombstone. Well, he could have just attacked into it and used a Zenrui to deal the Tombstone if he actually had a way to steal it. But otherwise, I'm on lethal, so pretty good. Looking pretty good so far. Yeah, in fact, I have perfect mana for it. The Saber-Spine Tiger and the Shadow Reflection with this guy. Even if he dispels this or something, maybe I should position myself in a place where I can actually hit the general next turn. Although, if he wants to run away with this general, it's not exactly difficult for him to do so, so... I guess it's not that big of a deal. The Spectral Revenant is pretty insane. Damage the minion, deal 4 damage to the enemy general, so, you know. That was a free 4 damage off of a Blistering Scorn onto the general. And sets up this very nice lethal. Twin Fane, my man, stop it. I still have lethal, but this does feel pretty bad. Woo! Nailed it! Well, that's one of the worst turn 1 plays that could have happened to me, because I do have the Imperial Shroud. Well, I do have the Bloodtear Alchemist, but it doesn't really contest Shield Puppet Dragon, so I'm going to have to just drop the Jaxi, unfortunately. Actually, I could still contest it, because the Jaxi can come along and take him out, so I guess I'm going to still go with the turn 1 play that I was planning on doing. As for the other cards, I feel like it's a pretty good hand. I can drop a Duelyst and follow up with a Reaper of 9 Moons, and I'm holding on to the Imperial Shroud for an Obelisk just in case. Although, the likelihood of an Obelisk is a little bit unlikely. Wind Strike, huh? Oh yeah. Maybe I should dispel that, you know, just stop that from happening. Although I do plan on putting down Reaper for 9 Moons. Well, Dispel is not bad. It's just I don't have anything to pair along with it. Let's get rid of a Duelyst then. Although I could drop a Duelyst next turn, so I think I just want to go with what I have and just play proactively. That means I don't really want the Imperial Shroud because I do plan on playing proactively. So let's get rid of that and see what's going down. So I will take the Mana Spring and put down the Reaper of 9 Moons. So that'll hopefully do some good. It probably gets taken out by the Wind Strike, but that's not a big deal, I would say. I'll continue to remove the Shield Puppet Dragon just in case I can get something better. Hopefully this becomes the Amara Healer or something. Alright, so it's going for attack, but not without a second wish either. I guess he has a way to get rid of the Reaper of 9 Moons. That seems a little bit unlikely though. Pyromancer, okay. I guess he has a way to get rid of the Mini Jax, that's why. Or he has healing from looks of things. Alright, get rid of Puppy Dragon here. Spectral Revenant, that does make for some better follow-ups. Alright, I'm going to have to get rid of the Wind Strike here. The Pyromancer is probably not that big of a deal. I could let him get a couple of damage in. Hopefully this becomes a Amara Healer or something. Now this is like a Saves My Tiger or something. Amara Healer, that's pretty intense. If I do say so myself. Probably makes him very unhappy about that result. Woo! Amara Healer! Well, let's see if he has a way to deal with that. Nah, man. Alright, looks like he does have a way to remove the Amara Healer. I do have Spectral Revenant, so I can get rid of the Pyromancer either way from the looks of things. Well, it depends on whether I grab this Mana Spear or not. Hopefully I can. Okay, so this guy has some kind of sense of artifact, Sag. Do I have lethal here? It's very close to lethal. Unfortunately, I can't hit and as well. So let's get rid of the Healing Mystic, see what's going down. Imperial Shroud, that's not bad. Should I just set up for lethal here? Nah, I think I'm going to get rid of the Pyromancer because I don't really want something with infinite value going down. So let's just remove that as soon as possible. I do have another Spectral Revenant, so that could help out slightly. And let's just keep on pushing damage, you know. It looks like I'm very close to taking him out anyway. In fact, I'm set up for lethal right here with another Spectral Revenant. Yeah, that Amara Healer was too much of a swing, really. Way too much. I don't know why he made that attack, because now I just use a Spectral Revenant over here, right? Excellent! Although I did have another way to get lethal, so not that big of a deal. Oh wait, not really, but... Use an Imperial Shroud over here. And then put down a Puppet Dragon over here. We'll buff each other out of range of a Zenrui. Although I'm not really holding on to any cards that could be vulnerable to a Zenrui, but I will get rid of the Shadow Reflection. Don't really need the direct damage just yet. Alright, I guess he's going to go for the Mana Spring grab anyway. Well, I guess he can actually, but he's going pretty aggressive by removing the Sheer Puppet Dragon. Well, that's probably totally fine. It's not exactly aggressive, it's just a little bit unusual, I'd say. Sworn Sister can, that is a little bit strange also. Yeah. Or maybe there isn't actually anything strange with this, it's just that... Sworn Sister Lacan, that's actually a pretty strange card choice if I do say so myself. It's going to be a Jack C plus Sibisman Tiger turn. That's for sure. Next turn I do have a follow-up with a Reaper of Nine Moons. So unfortunately I might not get too much value out of this Bloodborne spell next turn. I think keeping the Show Puppy Dragon around is pretty valuable, so I think I'm just going to sack the Imperial Shroud into it, even though it doesn't seem that great. It's kind of valuable, I'd say. Although a Zenrui off of here would be a lot better, though. But he probably wants to get rid of a Saberspine Tiger, so he might not do that. Oh, this is a little bit awkward. I keep on getting the Shadow Reflections back. Maybe I do need the direct damage going. Sacrifice is probably not going to see much play at this point, unless... Well, I do have a turn... I do have a follow-up already. I have a turn 3 play with a Reaper of Nine Moons, and then 6 and 7 I just need to fill up a little bit, so I don't need the Darkfire Sacrifice. Darkfire Sacrifice is only really good on the first few turns because I can drop a Spectral Revenant or a Vorpal Reaver early. Alright, Psychonic Strike, good use of the Bloodborne spell there. Maybe I should have just attacked with a Puppy Dragon last turn. Daltus! Alright, let's get rid of this Darkfire Sacrifice. Shadow Reflection is kind of useful. Alright, so Reaper of Nine Moons is going to be a thing. Can we race? Maybe. Oh yeah, I'll just do this. Actually, the Mini Jax goes very, very well with the Shadow Reflection. Darkfire Sacrifice I can definitely get rid of. Actually, I have quite a bit of damage. Well, Saberspine Tiger probably is not going to get killed, is it? Maybe. The great thing is that he absolutely has to have a Siphon Energy to remove the effect of the Reaper of Nine Moons. Although that is pretty brutal because it's going to be a little bit too far away on this corner. Yeah, Dispels off of the Reaper of Nine Moons is actually pretty darn good. because it removes the flying, so it's actually not in a relevant position as well. So that's a pretty brutal silence target, or dispel target. Although he does want to dispel this as well, which can be even more annoying if I can put a Darkfire Sacrifice on it. Oh man, am I seeing lethal here? I hope so. Alright, let's get rid of Darkfire Sacrifice. There's my Tiger. I could actually have lethal last turn. I guess I put the Reaper of Nine Moons here. It's just so... Well, it's kind of awkward because I don't have a good spot to put a Reaper of Nine Moons. Oh, well, I'll just put the Reaper of Nine Moons like somewhere behind. I'll just put the Reaper of Nine Moons here, so at least the General is going to have to move slightly this direction if he has an Imperial Shroud. That should be pretty strong, I'd say. And I'm setting for lethal, so this is good. This sets up for lethal. That's for sure, because I have this combo. Oh, so many Shadow Reflections. It seems like the game had something in plan for me. You know, putting down a lot of Shadow Reflections in my hand. Oh, that's a little weird. Whoa! That could be bad for you, my man, if I can get something good off of these guys. Let's get it. So this positioning was bad. I did not play around Blast, but... Oh, Pyromancer, that's pretty good. That's pretty good also. This is really great. I don't know why he moved the Jaxi up. It's kind of weird. Pyromancer. Oh, he has a way to get rid of his own Pyromancer. No? I'll just put a Shadow Reflection on this dude. Why didn't he use that on one of the Reaper of Nine Moons? That's kind of weird to me. I mean, I'm not complaining, but come on. Could have been a lot worse if that was a Mar healer.
Alright, hey, welcome to the end of the video. That was Midrange Abyssian, and I made a couple of changes because of blistering score, and obviously you're going to see a lot weaker plays with playing with the Wrathlings, and definitely the Gloom Chaser. So anyway, get rid of that stuff and just put in some neutral cards, which apparently is a lot better because you get pull out some pretty amazing wins over other people just by having the neutral minions anyway, but otherwise, yeah, it was pretty sick. You can definitely push out the damage with a Shadow Reflection, and just you have incredible mid-range play just by dropping Vorpal Reavers and Spectral Revenants, and even better if your opponent doesn't happen to have an answer to. But, you know, people do have answers to it, so that is what it is. But otherwise, you know, if you want to check out some more Duelyst action, be sure to click here on the left. And, you know, subscribe. I'll see ya!